Creo que los búhos quieren escapar por ahí, porque estaba sobrepuesta y ya la tiraron. Entonces, ahí los voy a dejar. Si se escapa por ahí, ni modo.
One night, Rojo heard scratching coming from his bathroom vent, and it was loud enough to make him stop what he was doing and go take a look. And as soon as he opened the vent, he froze, because there were two giant eyes staring back at him.
Amor, tengo un problema. No quiero que se vayan los pájaros. Estoy triste porque me falta uno. Me siento incompleto.
But Rojo had no idea what was about to happen next, because as soon as he checked the nest, there were 3 more baby owlets who looked like they needed help, and he had no idea what had happened to their parents.
Buenos días, papá. Hola, Ponchi. Hola, Ponchi.
Rojo waited and waited for their parents to show up, but sadly, they never arrived. So he started researching what they needed, and he set up a cage with a towel over it to keep things dark. But Rojo was worried about their diet the most, so he started feeding them with a dropper. At first, it was just enough to keep them going.
Buenos días.
Then, little by little, they got stronger, and soon they were ready to move on to solid foods. But to the owlets, Rojo was still just a stranger. They didn't understand who this giant human was, so they weren't sure if they could trust him.
Buenos días, tenemos hambre.
At first, they stayed in the cage, just peeking at him from the corner. The only time they would come close was when he had food. Then one brave little owlet decided to take a leap of faith. It climbed on top of the cage and then hopped right onto his hand. And the other 2 owlets could not believe what they were seeing. Rojo never gave them names because he was hoping to release them. But he could still recognize each of them based on their little personalities. The biggest and oldest chick was very protective of the others. Sometimes it would get upset if Rojo tried to touch the siblings.
Ponchi. Suéltame, Ponchi.
Another baby owl was very affectionate and loved to cuddle. And the third one was a little rebellious and always wanted to do his own thing. But very soon after, they realized that Rojo was safe and all he wanted to do was help. Slowly, one by one, the other 2 started coming out. They climbed onto his arms and they moved all the way to his shoulders. And soon, they were moving all around him like he was their own playground. However, Rojo knew that at some points they would need to be released. But for now, he just wanted to make sure that they got used to his home.
Los búhos están bien bebés. Ya literal. Hay que cuidarlos porque se van a morir.
He first kept them in the bathroom and made sure they were comfortable being there. And they could sit on the shower heads and act like they were branches. They spent a lot of time hopping from counters to sinks and just exploring safely. Once they seemed comfortable there, he slowly introduced them to his office. They started standing by his computer while he worked, watching every move he made. And little by little, they began exploring more of the house. They hopped onto chairs, tables, and shelves.
está un ratillo. No, aquí está, todo el tiempo.
And sometimes just watched from high spots. But no matter where they were, at the end of the day, they would always return back to him. And the bond between Rojo and the owlets just kept growing and growing. He became so attached to these little babies. They would always dance on his shoulder together whenever he picked them up. Sometimes, all three of them would sit on his finger at the same time. Plus, he loved to try and get the kisses as much as he could. He even made them a little bed on the couch, with a soft blanket where they could all hang out together. And as they got bigger and bigger, their owl instincts started kicking in. And then one day, when one of them started flapping its wings, Rojo gently guided them to make sure they knew how to fly. Sadly, he knew he couldn't keep them forever. And Rojo knew that the time was coming when he would have to let them go. Since Rojo knew it was time to let them start their own lives, he decided to search outside for the perfect tree to place them in. He looked for a tree that was safe and had plenty of branches to explore. And not far from his home, he finally found a tree with pygmy owls nearby.
Encontré a mamá búho.
He carefully brought his little babies to their new home. And the oldest was the first to climb up and explore. Then one by one, the siblings followed. And Rojo could see the joy on their faces and just how happy they were to be in the wild. But Rojo was still extremely sad to see them go. He had spent so much time with them every single day. And he knew he would miss their little chirps and playful hops. But Rojo was so grateful for the chance to help them, protect them, and watch them thrive. He knew he had given them the best start he could. And if he had the chance, he would do it all over again.